It's
perfect timing.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Bran, and I didn't hear. I'm not Bran. Not Bran at all.
Holy cow.
I'm not Bran. I said I'm Bran.
Keep saying it, Dan.
Of the things to get wrong, your name is fascinating.
It's a choice.
I'm Bran.
This is the Deck the Hallmark podcast. Deck the Hallmark. It's his podcast.
It took you too long to catch that.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly
The Alden was
podcast.
the
He was the backup, but now he's the Canuck.
backup. We still swing.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank God for Swayman.
You want to explain yourself?
So I clearly
Bran?
I was on
Hey,
autopilot, and I started thinking about
Your autopilot is to use
No,
my name.
to be Bran.
Where
My-
else are you doing
No,
this?
my brain was on normally on autopilot
wonder you're
during the
getting scammed.
intro, and then I started thinking about how I was mad I didn't hear Ariana Grande in this song,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This is something that Brand should be mad about, not me." And then at the last minute, my brain was like, "Put it in the intro," and so I decided to try to put it in the intro, and it came out.
Short-circuited.
I'm Brand. I'm not Brand, but that's what it sounded like. If this is your first episode, par for the course. I'm Brand.
Wouldn't you like to be me though?
I'm Dan for everyone.
Would you like to be
confused.
sticky like his candy?
What do you think
No.
it's like to
No.
be in my head?
I mean, about
you
as
think you would
confusing
en-
as that intro.
Do you think
I
you would
say.
enjoy it or not?
Oh, man.
I mean, do I have a knowledge of it, or am I just you and don't know that I'm
You wake up one day and we've sister swapped. No, that's not that.
We've not
family
sister
swapped.
swapped.
We sister acted. We
We've
switched
parent
body.
trapped.
Parent trap. There it is.
No,
Stack up.
we have
No.
parent traps. No,
Perfect Strangers.
What's
we-
the one where Lindsay
You swap
Lohan?
brains?
change up. Freaky Friday.
13 Forever
We Freaky
13.
Friday.
We Freaky Friday.
Yeah. So I know that I'm supposed to be. My brain is in your body. I'm not
Yes.
having your thoughts. I'm just you.
Dang it. Yeah, it's not my
Does this
body.
movie not
I'm
although-
just
exist?
probably like, why am I craving sugar all the time?
yeah.
Why do I need another? I need something sweet.
DPZ.
Yeah.
You wake up and somehow you are both
I've Freaky
simultaneous.
Friday, but also in the brain. It's a brain
But
Freaky
you're
Friday.
also still aware of
I have
who
both
you
brains.
are. Yes, you have. Yes.
Yeah.
You remember.
I probably am just like
should
pushing
never
yours off to the side.
Do you want to tell people, Dan, about how you outmathed the room the other day on a phone call, and you were like, I don't even remember what you said. We were like, I guess that wasn't what they were wanting for. I was like, that's not what most people are wanting.
It's hard to explain that without getting into a little bit of the
Into the
weeds,
weeds,
but the
but-
short version is Brandon and I are thinking about purchasing something, and we're talking about offers on how much, and I'm talking with the person that's negotiating that for us, and I just decided like to explain. I did it in a text, and she called me and she was like, "Hey, the text was confusing." So I explained all the different permutations of the sliding scale of our offer. Like we could do this, but this, or we could do this, but this, and any combination in between.
And then he went into the combination.
And I went into all the numbers with Bran. We're at the movie theater with our kids out in the lobby out there about to see Best Christmas Pageant Ever. And we're just going through it. And he was like looking at me. I was like, yeah, she pretty much hung up. She was like, just like, okay, got it. Like, I'm just going to. So it was tough. It was tough out there.
It's just always good to know it's not just me. That
Yeah.
the eyes glaze
Yeah.
over and,
I'm Bran.
and whatnot. Hey everybody, welcome.
Hey.
Hopefully you're doing well today. Another Tuesday here in the old studios here in Greenville, South
Studio.
Carolina. It's great to be here in Greenville, and I got to be honest with you. The weekend,
Fall for Greenville, Bran.
Fall for Greenville is a lot, and I will say there's so many people downtown this weekend that I'm not going to say I'm happy it's over, but I am a little bit happy it's over. I'm happy
Yeah.
that it happened.
I enjoyed going. Did you get down there and go this year or not?
I skirted around the idea.
Skirt.
Yes.
I went, and
You
it was
did?
a blast. But I was coming from West Greenville,
Yeah.
and I
Born and
parked
raised.
in the Richardson Street garage, and so getting
It's a
back
good
to my
garage.
house on the other side of Main Street took a half hour. So on Friday early evening, it took me a half hour to get from Richardson Street garage to my house, which normally takes like 5 minutes.
That's
so
a good time for you to like contemplate
Yeah.
and think and relax.
Yeah,
and
that's how I do it in the car.
Aaron, you
for
worked
sure.
down there this weekend, is that right?
Yes, I did.
What was your big takeaway?
You were a man in the DTH tent.
DTH tent. Yes.
at
What was your thought?
Culver
Yeah,
Fair.
I was just down there live podcasting
Yeah.
the whole weekend.
Was that your first fall for Greenville, or did you go last year?
No, I went last year.
Okay, yeah. But
Yeah,
this is
this-
your first time working it.
Yeah, I thought I would be a good citizen of Greenville and donate some of my time.
Oh, you didn't get paid?
No, it's a volunteer situation.
Oh my god! Oh, you weren't doing cook station stuff.
No, I volunteered for the city of Greenville.
Can I ask a question? Like,
When you
why?
said good citizen, I was like, I didn't know cook station had a thing down there, but she's getting paid at least. You were a city of Greenville booth attendant,
Why?
I worked the wine garden.
That's why.
and you didn't get tips or anything.
I mean, I got 10 free tickets
Oh, so
No.
2 drinks.
Cool.
to go hang out.
But
Wow.
Maybe some chicken wings.
why did you do that?
I wanted to be a good citizen.
Oh, wow.
I thought, like, when they put out
Be
the
part of the
call
party.
for volunteers, I thought,
You hear that,
I
everybody?
want to be a dedicated, like,
Aaron
I
Shea,
like living
everybody.
here. I thought I mean,
Yeah, round of applause.
before you applause, like, I regret it. I don't think I'll do it again. Sunday, it was low 50s and pouring rain the whole time.
Yeah.
Lousy.
It's tough.
That was a tough one.
So I
It's
was
tough out
trying
there.
I was selling, you have to buy the $1 wristband
Yes.
to drink downtown. So I was trying to put the wristband on people, and I was an icicle, and I was shaking, and I was just like, every person was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best.
But look at you. And Greenville's full of Aaron Shays. Greenville is
That's
full
right.
of people that are
Who are
just like
shivering.
helpful
Oh,
and
helpful.
whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, thanks
And
for your
regret it.
service.
Full of regret.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it
Regrets.
on Saturday. I worked 2 days. I did
Oh,
one
you worked
shift.
both days.
Yeah.
There
I
you go.
just thought I'd be a good person.
Huge heart.
Man.
So I had a lot of fun when the weather was nice on Saturday. I got to talk to a lot of people, got to rep. There's a new canned cocktail called Picnic Brunch. They have mimosas, Bellinis, and Bloody Marys. They're delicious. You can find them at Publix.
What do you do? They're not a sponsor here.
No, are you?
Yet.
Did you wear any DTH merch down there? Or is this just purely just for the good?
I had to wear a volunteer shirt.
Ugh.
And
But
I thought-
you did tell people about the podcast, though.
Oh yeah, I did.
right.
I told a lot of people about the podcast.
Yeah. And that's
They were
great.
like a lot of men were like, "Oh, my wife loves Hallmark. I'll have to tell her." And I was like, "Yeah, go for it. It's a great time."
That's right. But you can listen too, man, out
That's
there.
right.
Absolutely.
You don't
Don't
have
be
to
ashamed.
you don't have to suppress it.
No.
We are
Just be who you are.
that's exactly right.
Just like Dan is over here.
That's
being
right.
That's right.
I'm
just like
Brand
Brand.
today.
That's exactly right. You're just being who you are. Speaking of not suppressing it anymore, guys, I know there's a lot of people out there that have been like, we keep hearing you talk about the Christmas movie magic, but is it really that much fun? Is it really worth
When
buying?
you're undefeated, it is.
It absolutely is, and it is absolutely worth getting, and you can get it right now. And I think you should have it. Yeah, for sure, you should have it by the business of Thanksgiving week and all that stuff. Would be a great game to have, maybe a copy or two of, if you are having people join you for Thanksgiving. And part of your Thanksgiving celebration
2 copies for the party. For sure.
is watching some of these movies. This would be perfect. Christmas Movie Magic. It's available right now. We would love for you to get it. deckthehallmark.com/game. Game. Everybody. Game. And while we're talking about Thanksgiving week, it's also the perfect time to get Philo. Philo.tv/DTH.
Yeah.
Because there's so many movies coming out. We were literally just talking about how crazy it is. And then with the Hallmark Plus of it all, it's like, who has time for all of that? Well, no one does. And that's why Philo exists. You can throw all the movies on your DVR, unlimited DVR over on Philo, and watch them whenever you want to. You don't have to watch them live. You can just throw it on the old DVR and watch it, because it's not going to go away. The movie's going to stay there. It's going to stay in your DVR, so you don't have to worry about that and the space. None of that. How about that? Join us, and then you can watch our show, too.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Exclusive.
It's a win-win.
So Philo exclusive. All right. I think we've done what we should do.
That's right.
Start
yeah,
the show
Fall for Greenville,
and
Aaron volunteering.
Now it's time.
Regrets it.
Now it's time to talk about Santa
Santa
Tell Me.
Tell Me.
Do you have anything that you want to say, Dan? Any thoughts on the title of this movie?
I can't believe we didn't hear any Ariana Grande. And I think the fact that I'm the only one upset about this is crazy.
I didn't think that we would, just financially speaking.
Yeah, I don't never expect that.
They stay away from titles like this unless they're going to play you the song. Like, Where Are You Christmas? The song was in there. Like, if you do that for a song from the last 20 years, you would expect that we hear it. Maybe it's a cover. Maybe it's not Ariana. Maybe it's a cover. But really expected to hear the song.
We didn't have even a different version of it in
No,
there? I don't remember.
not anywhere
So what's
near
the title
it.
matter? How does this title relate
The
to this
title
movie?
sucks if you don't play the
I
song.
didn't even make this connection, actually.
It's
until
a bad title.
You're mad. You're mad.
Yeah.
Now I think I'm upset. Yeah.
furious.
Now this is ridiculous.
Ah!
Why would they do that?
Just be better. Is all I'm saying.
Santa Tell Me originally aired on the Hallmark Channel November 9th, 2024, and it went a little something like this. Olivia
On the
is...
third Nick of Christmas. Oh, hey, there's Brian guy. Hey, it's Brian, everybody. Middle chair. There he is. Philo.tv/DTH for your
We
Brian guy
regret
close-up.
Erin volunteering.
That's right. This is what happens. She goes
Yeah.
to work for City of Greenville.
No,
What is
listen,
happening
I'm
here?
not gonna
Yeah, we got
let
these
I'm
things
not gonna let Aaron take the blame for this. I'm gonna blame my child for this.
Okay.
Who did
Definitely.
fart around here the other day. Olivia, who's a little girl, writes and probably messed up the camera. Olivia, a little girl,
Fascinated to see what these other two are going to look like.
writes a letter to Santa asking him to reveal who her one true love will be. They go.
Santa, tell
yes,
me. Okay.
Santa, tell me who my love's
Yes.
gonna be.
Sure.
They go to sleep and wake up the next morning to find that Santa brought her a dollhouse. Stupid Santa. She thinks, I'm sure Santa will give me a name soon. How long could it really take, you know? Fast forward 25 years, and Olivia is now a hotshot deal maker who always rates her Uber drivers with stars out loud and hands money to Santa, ringing a bell on the street. She works as a designer for sets at the Style Home Network. As she's preparing for an upcoming shoot, Olivia gets called to her boss's office. They're interested in having her on camera. She's pumped. This is what she's worked for her entire career. But her excitement is quickly extinguished when she finds out that Chris Davis is directing the special.
Chris Davis.
Chris directs a show called Model Home, which Olivia thinks is tacky. She's unsure how to feel, so she hops into her Uber and vents to the driver, Rodney, about how she thinks Chris is the worst possible choice. Rodney encourages her to give Chris a chance. Olivia asks, well, how'd you know give this Chris Davis a chance? And he's like, well, how'd you know what his last name was? And then realizes to her surprise that Rodney isn't Rodney. Rodney is Chris Davis. Just driving.
Chris Davis
Just
is
driving.
Nick Davis. It's a whole thing.
Yes. Chris explains that the network bought Olivia's childhood home for the remodel, and it's going to be the feature of the special. Olivia protests that the house needs too much work for a one-episode show. It should be a full season, but Chris doesn't budge, even when he almost falls through a wall. Olivia invites her sister Darcy over for some inspiration, and while they're there, they hear a strange ringing of the bell in the walls. Olivia reaches inside of a vent and finds a letter addressed to her. To her shock, it's the letter that she wrote to Santa all those years ago. She opens it up, and inside of that is a mysterious rhyme that reveals itself and says that her one true love's name is Nick. Olivia scoffs at first and throws the letter in the trash, but the next morning it appears in her possession. She throws it away again. Then Olivia has not one, but 3 rom-com worthy meet cutes. She has an encounter with Nick A in a coffee shop after a little coffee swap. Spills that coffee on Nick B, and then narrowly avoids getting hit by a truck thanks to Nick C, who rescues her. And the letter keeps showing up. Olivia gets all 3 Nick's numbers and decides when life gives you 3 Nicks, you go on 3 dates. But will she even have the time? She gets a meeting. Goes to a meeting with Chris at the house, and the meeting doesn't go exactly very well. Her date with Nick A is next. He's rented out an entire ice ring just for the 2 of them. They have a great time until she accidentally pops a bottle of champagne and the cork goes right into his eye. Their romantic
slizzard.
I know. Their romantic evening ends up with a trip to the hospital, but they laugh it off. Back on set, Olivia and Chris's relationship is still tense, but there's some undeniable flirty energy at this point. Then Olivia and Darcy visit a custom woodworking shop for a potential show inspiration, and it turns out that Nick B owns the shop and is interested in helping out for the show. The pair head to a Christmas festival where Olivia accidentally hits Nick B in the head with a snowball during a competition with Chris, who also happens to be there. He jokes, guess I'm a knockout, or guess you're a knockout, or whatever. Little knockout joke, everybody. It's hard to ignore the growing chemistry. Olivia's date with Nick C is a bit of a disaster as well. He's a firefighter who's posing for a calendar, and after a cookie incident that triggers a nut allergy, a little too close to home for Bry Guy here, he ends up in the hospital. Womp womp. Olivia's starting to freak out. What is she supposed to do? That's when the letter in her purse shows back up, ring, 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 and the letter is changed. This time it says that she must choose to write Nick by midnight on Christmas Eve. Darcy encourages her to date all 3 Nicks as much as possible before then. Cue the dating montage. While at her childhood home, Olivia finds Christmas decorations that she thought were lost forever, bringing back fond memories. Chris stops by and suggests using some of the old sketches that he finds of hers as inspiration for the remodel, which could ultimately end up saving them money. Olivia begins to warm to Chris, especially when he implements ideas from her sketches in the dining room. On a date with Nick C, still everybody's least favorite, I think I can speak for all of us, Olivia is inspired to put a giant bow on the house. Oddly, Chris agrees with this idea, despite it being, I think we can all agree, a bad idea. It's a giant bow. He shows.
You're telling us we all agree on a lot of things.
Do you disagree that Nick C is the worst?
I'm just saying you're having a lot of leeway with this.
Does Nick C?
Let's see where he takes us.
Is Nick C the worst?
I'm not going to rank him just yet.
Oh, you like the giant bow on the house?
It's fine.
Okay.
I like the picture of it better.
I like the picture of it as well.
Of it.
Yes, yes.
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
I think we can all
Look
agree
at
on
us
that.
coming together.
Yeah.
Look at us.
It's a quorum.
Nick C's the worst Nick. Right? Dan? You're not going to vote. When are you going to
Bri,
vote?
you think Nick C's the worst?
Oh, man. By a hair, I would say. Maybe,
wow.
Maybe.
I have a theory on the Knicks. That's
Okay.
why I'm.
All right. Fair enough.
I don't.
Olivia starts to soften towards Chris. He's actually pretty great, and they both want the same thing for the show. But just as things start to look promising, Nick B arrives with a handmade reindeer. They talk about where to go for their dates, but Olivia feels a little disconnected with him. Then she shows up at Chris's house to decorate the outside tree. I don't know. When he invites her in, she insists that she has plans. They try hugging twice, but it doesn't quite work. You know, hugging sometimes hard. So they settle for a fist bump. Olivia giggles and walks away. On her date with Nick A, they're under the mistletoe. He leans in for a kiss to take her mind off work, and the sparks fly. The next day at work, Olivia and Chris watch the final cut of the pre-recorded segment. They're having a live portion of the program on Christmas Eve. To celebrate, Chris surprises her with a winter wonderland set up at the network's prop warehouse. There's even a snow machine. A snow machine? You kidding me right now? It is magical. They walk outside and they give money to British Santa, ringing a bell. Just as they almost kiss, Olivia gets a text, snapping her back to reality. There goes
gravity.
As Christmas Eve approaches, Olivia is faced with a tough decision, choosing which Nick to pursue. The letter changes one last time, basically telling her it is time to pick. It's Christmas Eve, and Olivia is preparing. It's Christmas Eve, and Olivia is preparing for the live broadcast. Shockingly, all 3 Nicks show up to surprise her. Just as she's about to go live, the 3 of them realize that they're all dating the same woman and end up in a ridiculous inflatable candy cane fight in the background of the broadcast. Olivia, realizing what's happening, runs out to stop them, but they demand that she choose. She can't pick, and so all 3 leave, and Chris storms off angrily because it all messed up the thing that he was so excited about. Plus, she was dating 3 other men. The special is a flop, or so she thinks. Surprisingly, social media loves her and the Nicks, and the special goes viral.
Not those Nicks.
No. Olivia gets offered her own show. Olivia realizes that Chris is her Christmas dream man, but she's gonna have to stop him before his train leaves at midnight. Her sister locks her keys in the car, so they take the one-horse open sleigh that's just hanging out by the house. Chris is at the train station when Olivia arrives, just as the train is about to leave. He's talking to, there it is. He's talking to British Santa, and he's like, I feel like, but he's in street clothes, British Santa, so he's like, I feel like I know you from somewhere. Anyway, it's a whole thing. And then he taps him on the chest like this. You're like, what's going on there? Chris goes to board the train, but British Santa pickpocketed him, took his ticket, and left a letter. And that letter tells him that getting on the train would be the biggest mistake of his life. Olivia arrives at the train station and is sad to see that the train has departed, but Chris hasn't. Chris isn't on that train. He's holding a letter that told him to stay. They apologize for how things ended and admit that they've both fallen for each other. Just as they're about to kiss, the intercom announces, Nick Davis is needed, Nick Davis. Olivia realizes, wait, your name is Nick? And Chris explains, yeah, but I've gone by my middle name since I was a kid to make things less confusing.
He's Nick D.
He's Nick D. That's exactly right. The clock strikes midnight, snow begins to fall, and they kiss big ones. And just like that, Jack's alive. Olivia says that this was worth waiting for, and they kiss some more, and that, my friends, was Santa, tell me if you really have.
We did it.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll break this movie down here on
Deck the Hallmark.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Lisa in the chat, BrainWatchMPlus.com. Nick sees the worst.
Yeah, I think that the movie purposely makes each Nick a little bit more like a little bit less full than the previous Nick. So like the first Nick is like like pediatric neuro brain surgery, like doing these very fancy dates. The second Nick has a bit of a backstory. My parents ran this festival. And the third Nick is just hot fireman. And I think it's like multiplicity when they make 3 Michael Keatons, and the third Michael Keaton is purposefully just like not bright or like as with it as the other two. This Nick C is not, I'm not saying Nick C's dumb, but they don't make, Benjamin Ayers gets a full character.
Yeah.
Chris Russell gets 60% of a I Nick C is shirtless fireman.
Yeah.
So like they do that
Which
purposely.
in some movies is a full character.
That's right.
So.
But I think it's purposeful. I think they do that. Like, I don't think you're supposed to, think they're all equal.
Fair.
Maybe it's me.
Let's share our thoughts on this movie. We're going to start with a hot take. We're going to share, here's what I think. Brian, what do you think?
Share what I think. Well, I liked it. If I have to say what I think, I thought this was fun, like from the jump,
Right from the jump,
right from the jump.
You know how we say from the jump?
Yeah, but like from the jump, it's sort of like it.
Sort of like it.
I thought it was really fun from the jump. It felt wintry. It felt cold. Like it had a nice kind of wintry vibe to it. I really like the advent calendar. Switching,
great advent calendar.
Yeah.
They're switching through. So that's
It was backlit.
But also,
door
like,
it lights up.
in a movie
beautiful.
that's super arbitrary about how many days it's been, like for them to just show like 1, 3, 7, 14.
Sure.
The way they did it was wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Made me realize how much I like it because I looked forward to that every time I saw it. I was like,
Wonder what day it's
ooh,
gonna
get
be.
this.
Yeah.
yeah,
Could
it's
be
November.
anything. We don't know.
So really, really cool. I haven't been following When Calls the Heart, so I don't. This
for
isn't a
you.
huge event for me having them back together. Obviously their chemistry's great. It was great to see them back together. I'm sure there's a big part of the viewership that's really psyched about this kiss and this movie. I feel like it probably did not let them down, so that's a good thing. I would assume. The Christmas magic makes up for a lot of stuff. Like,
Yeah, Christmas magic's a huge save
yeah,
here.
so
for
it
sure.
saves like a ton of things, and so it's hard to nitpick at little things. But the 3 Knicks fighting outside, like I don't think it should have worked for me as much as it did, but I really like that. Those 3 guys together, like it was just they shouldn't have been on set. They shouldn't have been there.
No.
But it's just they were, and it was great. I'm glad they were. Them fighting was awesome. It just I don't know. It all really, really worked, and I liked it. I liked it a good amount.
I love this movie. I thought this movie was so much fun. I think it delivered in just about every area that it could. When we found out that it was going to be Aaron Krakow, Daniel Lissing, and then 3 other guys that she was going to be able to make eyes with, it was like there's really no way that this could be bad. And it wasn't. It was an absolute delight. I thought that the showcasing of the dates was just the right amount of time in this movie. I thought that her and Daniel Lissing, once the ice was thawed and they realized that they kind of liked each other, those sparks were great. And that scene of them in the prop warehouse on that sleigh with the snow is as good as it gets. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. A dynamite kiss at the end of this movie, almost like 2 lovebirds who haven't kissed in many years, and then they get back together.
So,
I think, Dan, you and I would share this opinion that the only thing missing is some sort of nod to When Calls the Heart.
Yeah.
I'll let you expand on that because you had a great idea for
Yeah.
it, but some sort of nod, I think, would have been really nice. But yeah, this movie is heartwarming, it's funny, and it checks all the boxes for me. In the running for my favorite of the year.
you're not making a call on it.
I'm not making a call. As of right now, it's
Wow.
As of
Stay
right
tuned
now,
for
it's
those
second
results.
for me.
Wow.
As of right now, it's
Interesting how
second
that
for
works.
me.
You're just going to let
I
be
just said,
in the
as
war
of right
room?
now, it's second for right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in the war room, it could move to first.
Anything could happen.
That's right.
anything.
What's first?
5-year Christmas party.
5-year Christmas party. So ahead of Careful 2.
Yes.
Not. Okay. Got it.
Yep.
No, I would have loved in the coffee shop where they messed up the names earlier if the barista would have called out like Lucas, Nathan, and he would have been in
yeah.
there and been like, neither. Or he'd have chosen one and be like, no, I'm sorry, it's this one. And then chose like something like that, I think would have been fun, easy for them to do. When we previewed the movie, I said this movie had the highest floor of maybe any movie aside from Three Wiser Men and Holiday Touchdown. Just the premise and the actors on screen kind of makes this a 6 of 10 out of the gate. And I would say that they met that burden. And they did so because of all the reasons we've already talked about. I don't have a lot of raves for this movie, but it's the best of the year so far. For what that's worth, I think this year has been kind of a medium to down year so far. I thought that Aaron Krakow with Daniel Lissing, there's a reason we've missed that on When Calls the Heart. And for all of you Team Nathan and Team Lucas folks out there, her chemistry with him is better than both of them. And I don't think it's even particularly close.
That kiss was hard.
It was unbelievable. They are great together. Ayers is the best at this.
He is the best.
Benjamin Ayers is great as a leading dude.
Yeah.
But when he gets to play a role where he can kind of wrinkle the page and do whatever he wants, no one is having more fun and giving a better performance than he is doing this thing. Chris Russell also has a blast. The guy that plays Nick C, I'm sure he was having fun too. What's his name?
Curtis.
Curtis. Oh,
name,
Kurt.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Kurt.
How could I
Little
forget?
Kurt.
So
Kurt
yeah,
Zaka.
Christmas Magic covers a multitude of sins here. Aaron Krakow.
Yeah. I didn't even mention the Christmas magic of it all. Like,
yeah.
It's Christmas magic.
That's right.
Yeah,
Legit Christmas magic.
It's just one of those things where anytime you just are like, I don't know how this is all possible. Well, there's a note card that keeps having words that disappear and reappear. And then Aaron Krakow, nobody in the business is better at like having this look on her face like she's very, very smitten, and she gets to have that kind of connection with 4 different dudes as she's trying to figure out which Nick to pick. And so, yeah, I mean, it didn't like strike me like some of the great Hallmark movies do as being like an all-time classic, but for this year, it's the best so far.
I think the biggest knock on this movie is that it just doesn't take the show part of it even remotely serious.
It doesn't.
The renovating that had to be done on this house in the month of December, shooting it, editing that package.
Yeah.
You would like to we don't care. That's the short version of that is we don't care. We don't care about the show. We don't care
And they know
about the
we don't
design.
care.
And they know we
They
don't
speak
care.
for all of us when
and
they say
yes,
you don't
speak
care.
for all of us. But they are 100% committed to not squandering the Krakow listing of it all.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have a unique premise on that side of it. But aside from the fact that it is unique and we get to see these 2 characters again, there's not a lot to pull for. And it still somehow is the best one of the year so far in the holiday season for me.
Listen, maybe the One Calls the Heart nod is just the notion that if given options, we would all choose Daniel Lissing.
What's wild is
Oh,
that
in the universe of When Calls to Heart,
Sure.
if given options,
yeah.
we would all choose
And-
Daniel Lissing every time.
That's a
What-
great meta.
and it's
look at it.
unbelievable because you would, I mean, like the three other dudes are like in this movie. They're two of them are classic Hallmark
yeah,
bros. I mean, they're it. They're like who you would choose in these movies. And there's something about that Krakow Lissing combo. I don't know what it is.
Wake me up.
They get it.
Bring me back to life. You know what I mean?
Wake me up.
It's time for all the feels, where we talk about what in this movie gave us feels. Brian.
Yeah, the sweaters in this movie were better than they needed to be. Like every scene had just a gorgeous knitted sweater or a cap or something that was like a knitted Christmas paraphernalia. It was really standout, really nuts. They did it better than they had to, and
You
I
mean that
appreciate
sweater
it.
that her sister made?
Yeah,
that was perfect?
Yeah,
Yeah.
flawless. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's so talented. So all the sweaters just on point. Every scene, it was like lights in the background, except it was sweaters in the foreground. Great.
Fair.
It's just like lights in the background.
Fair.
Aside from not light sweaters.
Yeah,
aside
sweaters.
From not
You wear
background,
them.
foreground.
Yeah, exactly. In the front.
Obviously,
Same thing.
So you
Obviously
gotta speak
one.
for all of us.
Yeah.
obviously that kiss at the end. Oh my gosh,
Kidding right now.
fantastic. You know what worked for me was, and I didn't really see it coming, was the letter following her. Like it wasn't just the singular moment of Christmas
Super magic. Yes.
It was this card that continues to show up with a glowing light and a ringing bell. And I really like that because I don't know if they didn't really need to do that. They didn't need to have
No.
this card that updates and kind of follows
Well,
her
they did
around.
it. Santa did it.
I'm sorry.
So
Santa,
they didn't-
Santa
they didn't do
didn't
any of
have
that.
to. Santa could have done the one, and she would have probably realized, oh man, maybe that there was something to that letter. Too bad I threw it away. But they kept it going, and I actually really liked
Yeah,
that.
and I will say this: we made this could skip ahead to the what the Hallmark segment, but like that brings in a lot of questions on Santa's powers. If he can just make a letter appear on, including on Chris's person, to tell him exactly what to do in any given circumstance, is Santa just like sitting around watching everybody biding his time, like waiting to interfere in some really intimate situations? Like,
I
is
wish
that
he
what
would.
he's doing?
Man, I wish you would.
Yes.
Yeah, good, perfect. Glad we did it. Cool.
Any feels?
I mean, the scene on the sled with the snow, pretty great. Kiss, pretty great. And then we didn't hear the song Santa Tell Me. And I don't know how many times I have to say this. You've kind of promised us the song Santa Tell Me, and you didn't deliver. So there's that. How dare you? First of all, how dare you?
Yeah, fair. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll get to the way one, the what, the Hallmark here on Deck
Deck
the
the
Hallmark. Welcome back, everybody. It's Deck the Hallmark. We're talking about Santa Tell Me, the Hallmark Channel movie. Let's get to the wait what's where we talk about what in this movie made us go wait what. Anything for you, Bri Guy?
A few things. The show bought the house, which I don't think that's how that works. I don't think shows just buy property and sit on it while they
To
renovate.
save money,
Yeah.
they bought the house.
So I don't know why
What's
they
their
had to do
budget
that.
like?
Yeah, no kidding. At Christmas time, nonetheless, like okay. We have a lot of fun here. Deck the Hallmark.
we do. We have a ton of fun here on Deck the Hallmark.
She spilled hot coffee
Here
on
we
his
go.
nearly bare skin.
That's right.
And as somebody who has spilled hot chocolate on their nearly bare skin and suffered from the repercussions of a burn,
Yeah.
3rd degree on your
Probably
person,
not 3rd degree.
I don't know what it was, but I had to keep going to the doctor. And
hey, a
peeling.
McDonald's lawsuit would beg to differ.
That's right.
You guys hear
That
about
was
this
right
one?
on the skin, though.
Yeah, that was right on the
There
skin.
was a shirt there
Yeah.
first. There's
There
no
was-
way it was 3rd degree.
For me though, I was a kid.
Oh,
I
yeah?
spilled hot chocolate all over my lap. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Still
he
mad
didn't even
about it.
on my lap.
He
Okay,
didn't
I'll
even
say
flinch.
I'll say no more about it. But yeah, Brand,
I don't want
on
you
my
to.
lap.
I think we said
He
too
didn't-
much.
He didn't even flinch. You're right.
No.
Not even like an ouch, ow, ow,
Ouchie, wow,
anything.
wow.
Yeah, holy
Not
cow.
even an ouchie, wow,
Not
wow.
even an ouchie, wow, wow. Or I'm gonna sue you like crazy. Like
Could have gotten
nothing.
one ouchie wow
We
wow.
could have at least gotten one.
Yeah.
Like that's a burn.
Can
It's
you
just a
imagine she
burn.
bumps into Chris Russell and he goes, ouchie,
Ouchie,
wow,
wow,
wow.
And then she gives him the sweater, and we all think
I was
Shirt's
so
coming
mad.
off.
I was
shirt's
so
coming
pissed.
off.
Yep.
Why would you put the sweater on over a shirt that is just got
A soaked-
piping hot
That's
coffee
soaked.
all over
That's
it?
going to stain the sweater?
100%.
Yes.
100%. And you're still wet. It doesn't do anything.
And it's not like I was like, okay, well, they're trying to keep this above board. And then in that very next scene, old Nick number C,
Nick number C, A, 2, D.
had his shirt off. And I
The
was like,
third?
well, clearly we can.
We
We
can.
can have
Why
shirt
didn't
off.
they?
Never
Why
bothered
didn't
to
we?
think if we should.
Why didn't we have the shirt off? That's all
But
I'm saying.
you just wouldn't like if I have coffee all over me. I don't want the thing that has
No.
coffee. Like you're gonna switch it out.
Definitely.
You're not gonna just put it on top.
I feel like
Well,
we
not
speak
to
for
mention, like-
everybody when
Yeah.
we say you're going to take that
And
shirt
he
off.
had like a cardigan on, right? He
had
had a
something over
cardigan
and then a tee,
and he
yeah.
could have just done one of these numbers or
100%.
whatever. But he takes that off, and we're all getting
Yeah,
geared
we
up.
all know.
We know
we
it's
all
coming.
know
Geared
what's gonna
up.
happen.
If they had, imagine if they had.
Imagine if they had #1 movie.
Wow.
It's
all it
one.
would
It's
take.
That's all it
one.
would
It's
take.
one Chris
You're
Russell
so you're
shirtless
an easy
scene.
boy.
Man,
I'm an easy boy.
Easy
Man.
boy.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's how
and-
close it is, though. And listen, you got to make all the right choices.
Yeah, that was a big mistake then.
Big mistake.
We have a lot of fun here, but you can't just have almond powder sitting out, and
Yeah.
also you can't just grab it and not know. Like that's not fun.
Not
Like,
only do the way that she injures these three dudes becomes more like it becomes progressively less funny and more stupid. Like
Yeah.
more like, the champagne thing was funny. Like it was legitimately funny. By the time we get to
oh
almond
right.
powder,
Oh, that was hilarious. Actually,
it was so incredibly like it was lazy. It was like less like it was
Yeah.
like they put a lot of time into Ayers
Yep.
and none time into Santa City.
You're
at
right.
all.
You're
Yeah.
right. So that's just, I mean, yeah, not fun. Not fun. Bad memories. It's really hard to lock your keys in your car, right? Like she
In this day and age, it's
Are
like
you
impossible.
Yeah,
if the car's been made in the last
Yes.
7 years, very
that
difficult.
thing honks at you so long.
Yeah.
Like you can't do it.
My car won't lock if my
yes,
keys are inside.
same here. It just beeps. And
Yes.
I can't do it. So
Yeah.
a car honk.
a car honk.
Car honk.
Yes,
a car honk.
That is a car honk.
Honk,
it's a
honk.
literal
Honk,
car
honk.
honk.
You got it. It's a good honk joke, buddy.
And just the Saint Nick knockout. Oh, the sound effect. There was at the Saint Nick knockout. This I thought of your whoosh thing. He knocks down a Santa Saint Nick thing, and it makes like a shattering noise,
Yeah.
like he but it just kind of toppled down. So let's see that thing explode. Like it sounded like an explosion.
Yeah. Well, I had a sound effect one as well when they and this I think it was for comedic effect, but when they throw down the inflatable candy canes,
Yeah.
it makes like a rubber ducky sound. Like, it's like what happened? That made me laugh. You took many of mine.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I will just say, and I don't really know what this is, like what to do with this, but it was so quick, and I don't know why they would do this so quickly. I almost wanted them to land on it or go back to it. But when the bottle of the champagne spills, it's going around in circles. And for a split second, it makes a heart.
yeah.
And
yeah.
it's such a little thing that I just wish they would have like
Done anything with it.
anything with it. But maybe I'm reading into it. Maybe it didn't actually make a heart. Who can really say, to be honest? And then last but not least, she's out to breakfast, whatever, with her sister towards the end of the movie, and she's putting syrup on her plate, and her sister takes the syrup away from her. And let it be known, if you take syrup away from me mid-pour, I'll leave.
Yeah, if you were
I
a
don't-
syrup police,
I
nobody
don't-
needs you.
I don't want to be in your presence. Listen, you can have your giant, massive bowl of fruit. Don't take my syrup away. It's my syrup, my choice. I want to put
My
it.
syrup, my choice.
I want to put it all over,
even
and I don't want you to take it away from me. I already feel judged when you get a bowl of fruit that big. I already feel judged, and so for you to go over and take the syrup away from me, I'm not having it. I'm walking out. I'd rather not eat it all than eat in the presence of the syrup police. Defund them, Dan.
Yeah.
Not as good there.
At one point early in this movie where they're back in their childhood home, the sister knocks on the side of a gas fireplace and it comes on. And you know what? Knocking the side of something to make it work is super cool most of the time. But if it has to deal with natural gas,
Yeah, flames and
it's terrifying. It's not cool. It's not magic. It's like, oh, I remember the gas must be stuck in the pipe somewhere. I'll knock it.
better loosen it before it explodes.
That is that's just terrifying across the board. I can't tell you how much that's not the time or place to do that. You would immediately have to call someone. They would shut the gas off. They would the house. No, you wouldn't do it. They also do, I would say, like a C+ job of making this house look dilapidated and run down. Like random places, there's like wallpaper kind of like ripped and stuff.
There's leaves in the living room.
Yeah. And it's
You
like,
know how old houses
yeah,
just kind of
classic.
develop leaves.
And then you go up to the attic and it is A, pristine, like no problems, and B, still filled with all of their childhood heirlooms and all of their childhood memories.
Yeah.
That house has been bought by someone else. It's been foreclosed on. They don't own it. They haven't owned it in forever. The attic is pristine with all of their childhood photos and memories. How? Why? What? No, that doesn't make. What did they sell the house? But you can't touch the attic. You can't touch the attic. You have to knock 3 times on the fireplace, but don't touch the attic. So help me. Also, and this happens in these movies regularly, but Santa magic gets involved, and the person who the Santa magic happens to immediately thinks it's not real. And I'm like, bro, you couldn't have had a clearer sign. Krakow watches words form in gold on a sheet of paper, referencing a specific letter she wrote 25 years ago, and she throws it away, and she's like, it's not real. It's not real. Somebody played an elaborate prank. One of those pranks where they hide the card in the AC vent, blow some air through so a bell rings.
Yeah.
I get it, and then it
Lights up, yeah.
it's a whole thing.
I bet even after everything that she's seen throughout this movie, if given the opportunity, she would deny Santa 3 times.
She probably would deny at least.
I don't
3.
know that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know that British Santa down
No,
there. I don't
British
know
Santa.
him.
That's another one of mine. Santa's British in this movie. We don't know why. Just like it just decided.
Just picked up
Santa's-
the accent
yeah.
while he was over there.
Is what it is. Santa's British. I don't know what to tell you. I've never seen someone more taken aback that someone else has a master's degree than Aaron Krakow in this movie. Daniel Lissing says, I don't just direct this. I actually have a master's degree in interior design. And Aaron Krakow like acts as though he's a Nobel Peace Prize winner, a poet laureate.
Well, I think it's more about the what he has to because of how little she thinks of
but
the
it still
program.
should come as a minor shock at best that a guy that directs TV shows that aren't model home shows might have a background in it. Like it's a master's degree in interior design. It's not like he secretly like sent us, but we have master's degrees. I don't like it's
What?
That's
You
right.
have? You?
I know, right?
You kidding me?
That's right, we do.
It
For those of you listening,
We speak for everybody.
Dan was speaking
have-
about all of us.
That's right.
He said we, and that's
Yep.
We
That's all there
all
is
have
to it.
master's
We sure
degrees.
do.
All of us. That's exactly right. All of us here
we all have degrees
That's right.
of
all
any
of,
kind,
of any sort,
post high school degrees
from any kind of establishment.
And then also, and you've said it in the hot take, but just to mention, it's this design show special, whatever, is just could not be less important. She's never working on it. It doesn't matter. And I would prefer that over the Brian Harold take, which is I need to see every single
All the contractor
thing that
interviews.
you ripped off the wall, how you got the quotes of different blood. Like I don't
some blueprints.
Yeah, this is preferred to me, but just to be clear, she's not doing this. She's hanging out with her sister. She's going on dates with a bunch of nicks. Like that's what she's doing. Yeah. That's all I got.
It's time for What the Hallmark. It's where we wonder what could have been, maybe give some clarity to any questions that we still have. What are you still wondering about?
Yeah, part of mine was what the heck happened with their parents? Like, who are they running from, and why did they leave all their stuff?
Yeah.
But the big one was I thought for sure that her sister was going to end up with a Nick or start going through the Nicks like she was, like start
Really?
dating the Nicks. And why not? Like, why not have that have her maybe have a connection with one of them and keep that going?
I love that.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the network buying the house to do the show. Does this now become like the home base for her new show? Like, what's the plan with the house? They may have mentioned. Like,
It's
does
so
she,
weird that her and her sister are never they're not sentimental about the house at all.
No, but they do. They are just there. Like at the end, they're like there, just
But
having a conversation.
They live in town. That's where they grew up, and they don't. There's no mention of them going, why don't we buy the house?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I mean, maybe she just assumes now she's going to get to do whatever.
Now that
I
the
don't know.
network
Now
owns
that
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the network doesn't just buy houses unless they have plans for it past just this show, right? They're gonna,
that's why they don't buy houses. That's why it's a huge
Exactly,
weight.
yeah.
they would have
Yes.
to. They'd have to
They
have
lose money
something
on it.
planned. So maybe it's the home base. You know, it was
Maybe.
the. And if the show did, if the special didn't end up, then they'd sell it again. But if it works, maybe it's her home base for the show. I don't know.
Maybe.
I
Like
don't
the home and family home.
know. Home and family home. That's exactly right.
You get it. My What the Hallmark is purely about Daniel Lissing. Welcome back to the network, Daniel Lissing. But also, it's clear that he should be in these movies, and we know the past with When Calls the Heart and other things. Does this mean he's back? Does this mean we're going to get more Daniel Lissing? Maybe someone has that answer. It seemed like a no-brainer to have a Lucas Nathan thing in this movie, and they didn't do it. I would have loved to see that. I wonder if that was ever a part of it. But really, just did Daniel Lissing get to do this because Krakow was like, hey, we need him to come do this, or is he back in the good graces of Hallmark? I mean, Chris Russell's doing movies on other networks and stuff, and he's still there. What about Daniel Lissing? Is he turning it down? I'm just fascinated because
Time will tell.
you would think he'd be in more of these.
Time will tell. Just like time will tell us who this week's Double Decker of the Week is.
Nicely done.
Thank
Really
you.
good stuff.
It's time to find out who Brian has done a deep dive on. If you would like to become a Double Decker, you can go to BrambleJamPlus.com and you can sign up for the Double Decker tier or higher, and Brian will tell your story whether you want him to or not. Dan, who do we have today?
We have Christina Thornton. Oh,
Fantastic.
Jack Thornton. Christina Thornton.
Oh, look
Well,
at
that's
that.
nice.
Yeah.
Christina. Yeah,
Thematic.
thematic.
Yes.
Yes.
Thornmatic.
Thornmatic. That was pretty good.
wasn't.
I did a little bit of research here
have
on
a
the
master's.
Thornmeister. So this is a tough time of year for candy, for me especially. Like eating too much
Oh, it's a
candy.
tough time
just
because we're eating
everywhere.
a lot of
It's
sweets,
great for the
yes.
candy industry.
Yes.
Just
Between the candy and the sweets, it's tough.
it's just all over the place, especially if you're trying to be careful about it. And so Christina has come up with kind of a new program. It's not really, I wouldn't call it a weight loss program, but it's sort of something just to get you through these tough months where you can sign yourself up or somebody else can do it for you who's got your back, looking out for you.
Okay.
Where Christina will coordinate somebody coming and kind of like chipping away at the candy on your behalf in your house. And so like you won't eat too much of it. You know, it'll kind of dwindle down faster than
Okay.
it normally would.
Okay.
Someone sneaks into your house and eats your candy?
Yeah,
And
basically.
you
But
pay
you
them
want
to
them
do
to.
so.
Somebody, you or somebody gets it for. It's a great gift idea, actually. But yeah, it'll just help you kind of chip away at it because you don't want to have.
You
all
keep
of
saying
it.
chip away, and I
Nothing. No, that's
Okay.
not leading.
Oh,
no,
all
no,
right.
no.
I'm
Just
sorry.
help you work through it, and like if something is going away faster than you thought it would, like then it's gonna, you're not going to have as much of it, obviously.
Yeah, that's how that
If I wanted
works.
to do this, who would I contact?
What's the name of the business?
Well, this is called C's Candy.
What?
Christina Thornton started C's Candy.
C's Candy.
Yeah.
Like C's chocolate?
No.
Okay.
You can't say that. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seizing it.
Seize.
Seizure. Candy. Seizure candy.
Oh, C's your candy.
Yeah.
Is it
it
called
called
C's
seizure
candy
candy?
or is it
Seize
called
candy, but she will seize your candy.
Ah?
You
It's
know?
not called Seizure Candy?
No.
Why?
It could be, but it's not.
It
it's
does-
just
She wasn't sure how that would
C's.
play, so she called it C's
Right,
candy.
that has some connotations.
It does
so-
sound very like aggressive. Like
Yeah.
someone's coming in your house.
Well, it's
they're
a
like, give me all the
reclamation. It's like a
candy."
reclamation service.
Do you
It's
leave
a-
it on
It's a
your porch,
reclamation
or do
No,
they?
no. She'll. It's a little like Mission Impossible.
Oh, wow.
Like she'll get elaborate if she has to, because some people, if you don't know about it, especially, it's got to be sneaky.
Yeah.
She's got to be real sneaky. Like so, a lot of it is in the darkness of night and just undercover. So you usually don't know.
Welcome back to Tanner's Late Night Show. I'm Tanner. I'm here today with John Joe. John Joe, you are one of the candy Caesars for C's Candy.
I seize all that candy.
What's going
I
on?
see a candy, I seize it. Is it Swedish Fish? Seize it.
Uh-huh.
Is it Sour Patch Kids? Seize it.
Now-
Is it Milk Duds? Seize it. You may be asking about Kit Kats. Seize it.
Skittles?
Seize it. There's Gummy Clusters. Seize it.
100 gram bars?
Seize it. Mounds? Don't seize it. I hate mounds.
Well, I
if
was
you
gonna
show me a mound,
ask you, do
Okay.
you eat it all or do you pocket some of it and throw it away in the dumpster somewhere?
I eat it, all of it, unless it's a Mounds bar. And if you send me one of those, hell's coming your way. I can tell you that right now.
What's been the hardest house to seize?
Mounds Avenue.
Come again?
Mounds Avenue.
We got to take a break. Wow. How about that?
Yeah,
He doesn't like Mounds bars.
somewhat of a Caesar.
I've also never heard of Tanner's late night show, but it sounds good.
Yeah, it's a late night show.
It's a
We're going to be back tomorrow with
Yeah.
another one. Hopefully you'll join us. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a
Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. Is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.